Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to begin this sit down by saying Barakatha Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahweh Shai, Ba'asham Rukwah HaKadosh. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well, and salutations to the sincere Akim across the four corners of this globe, pushing this truth in all due diligence and sincerity. You can see the topic of this lesson right here in the background, man. These women are through. The women of our nation, who we commonly refer to in group terminology as Eve, they're through, man, completely through. Here you have a Jake woman, and not too bad looking Jake woman at that, based in Leeds, yeah. And for brothers in the States, anywhere outside of the UK for the most part, sorry, anywhere outside of London and the UK for the most part is relatively alright to live in. London is a shit hole, man. Yeah, it's a complete shite hole and overpriced and expensive. Everywhere else outside of London is relatively affordable. Well, was until the cost of living crisis hit, which was obviously induced by Esau and the elites of Esau purposefully. But Leeds is known for being a relatively cheap city to live in, man. Quite affordable. You can go out, get a couple of drinks for free. Well, not for free, so like, I don't know where I got that from, but you can go out and get a couple of drinks for near enough free. Quite cheap, £2 a pint. In a local bar, you can go get yourself a JD and Coke, or a little apple juice or whatever, or you can get yourself some Hennessy, or whatever brothers drink, vodka, or whatever the hell you want to get, and you can get it relatively cheap. You can purchase a vehicle out there that doesn't have to meet the requirements that London vehicles do in terms of pollution emittance. You can get a decent sized house for a particular amount of pounds, that you would get you a shed in London. Essentially, you can live good. But here you have it, this right here, another case of a so-called black woman, an Israelite woman, yeah, probably of the Southern Kingdom, more than likely Benjamin right here. Forced universal credit deductions have left me with just £143 to live on a month. Yeah, look at this madness. Forced universal credit deductions have left me with just £143 to live on a month. This woman is living on £143 a month. Let's do the calculations real quick. Yeah, £143 a month. Yeah, let's divide that. But let's say even take February, the shortest month. That's £5 a day. This woman is essentially on a good month living on £5 a day. £143 a month is £5 a day. She's living on £5 a day, and this is a decent looking woman, man. You could back in 2019, before the pandemic, you might have seen this woman on a night out, or just on your way back from work or whatever, and might have made a move for her. And she's 41, and Jake women age slowly. She ain't got no. You'll notice in the story there's no mention of a man to look after her, because she's probably a feisty Benjamite woman that kicked the man out the yard, or doesn't, or thinks she's too good for the men. But it says here, River Olivia Rose, 41, from Leeds, has been claiming universal credit for 18 months. Forced universal credit deductions have left me with just £143 to live on a month. River Rose's, so her name is River, okay. River Rose's deductions are linked to an advanced loan she took out when she first signed up to Universal Credit. So essentially, Universal Credit here in the UK for brothers in the States is like our equivalent of welfare. And she was in a bad state, so when she initially signed up for the government's assistance, she took out an advanced loan, so they paid her money in advance that they'd then be taken back out of her Universal Credit, as well as child tax or credit overpayments. But campaigners say the automatic deduction should be put on hold during the cost of living crisis. So people are saying, even though she applied to get that loan, and the normal process is that they take their money out on a month-to-month basis with her deductions, that because of the cost of living crisis, they should have mercy on her essentially, and stop taking those deductions until the cost of living crisis is renewed. But we know Esau is not going to do that. This is all by design, and this is what these stupid people still don't understand. They think that these devils in the bank, in the Bank of England, which is owned by those small hats, is actually trying to rectify the situation. No, man, they're purposely trying to destroy you, Jakes, man. and really, even the masses of their own people. Millions of people are having their benefits automatically deducted to pay off debts under a Department for Work and Pensions policy that continues despite the cost of living crisis, leaving people unable to afford to live. River Olivia Rose, 41, from Leeds, has been claiming universal credit for 18 months. Her allowance should be £324, give or take a month, which is still shite. However, she has never received the full amount due to deductions. Instead, she receives between £90 and £260, an amount that fluctuates each month. Hell, hell, hell. The money is linked to an advance loan River took out when she first signed up to the 6-in-1 benefit to cover the 5-week wait for her first payment, as well as child tax credit overpayments and a fine she received for sleeping in her car while homeless. Hell, hell. Look, and you look at this woman and think, she's a decent looking woman, man. But look at the hell she's going through, sleeping in her vehicle, having to, take out an advanced loan from the devil. But I guarantee you, this woman here would have probably voted for Joe Biden, or voted for what's his name, Keir Starmer or Jeremy Corbyn when he was around as the head of the Labour Party. She would have loved to see a so-called white man. She would have loved to see an Edomite up in government. She would have turned up to all the campaigns. She probably loves the Queen. She's probably got every well, before she could afford it, would have probably been buying all those Hello magazines, looking at Queen Lizzie that serpent on the cover of the with the royal family, saying, oh yeah, such a great monarchy, you know, being a coup. Now look at this, look at the situation that she's in. And this is the story for a lot of these women out here. Isaiah 32:9. Rise up, you women that are at ease. Wake the fuck up. Hear my voice, you careless daughters. Give ear unto my speech. Because you see, a lot of these Israelite women, man, they've given into the ways of the devil, man. And they've thrown in the towel easily, man. They're social media intoxicated, wicked, demonic whores, man. Ain't doing anything for attention. Literally disrespecting men, throwing their bodies out online, whoring. Whoring is the new normal. But the Lord did say in the scriptures that our women will be whores in the streets, man. That was part of the curses, and the Lord definitely did not lie. But as a result of their wickedness, those women are now being judged heavily. You see, when you read the scriptures, Ezekiel, the 9th chapter and the 4th verse, when it tells you that the Lord's going to judge women and maids, you best believe the Lord is not a respecter of persons, man. He's not going to let these wicked women off the hook, man. Women like River Rose, what a name, Double R, are still going to get judged, man. And a lot more stories like this are going to start surfacing, man. You're going to start seeing women getting judged in many different ways, apart from just homelessness, starving to death. You're gonna see a lot of judgment, man. News stories coming out of crazy, gruesome things happening because this is the time of the Lord's judgment, man. And the spirit of judgment is upon the face of the planet Earth, man. Apostle Tahar made a statement in the video: death is going to become more fashionable, and it's the truth. Even these women are going to feel the left hand side power of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, man. And no man's going to have mercy upon them because even they themselves are going to be out here trying to survive in the times that are going to come. Scripture says, in fact, let me just grab it real quick. In Ezekiel, the 7th chapter and the 5th verse, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, only an evil, behold, is come. An end is come, the end is come. It watcheth for thee, behold, it is come. And a lot of these women are going to start realizing that they're just women, man. They're going to realize that they don't have the scruples to lead a household. They're going to realize they don't know how to make money or create or build a living and bring it back home and cultivate. And they're going to seek for a strong man, pursuant to Isaiah, the 4th chapter and the 1st verse. And in that day 7 women shall take hold of one man, and not just any man, an actual Israelite man, an elect Israelite man. So brothers, I say this, like, some brothers, find it more difficult to get women than others. But you gotta understand, man, these women need you. You don't need these women, man. These women need you more. You don't need, I was gonna say these women need you more than you need them. But no, you don't need these women. The Lord is gonna bless us anyway. You gotta have patience. But these women need us, man. We don't need these women. These women need us. The Israelite woman needs us, man. Because even without a single Israelite woman, we can still bring back the entire nation because the nation stems from the men. Understand that. So stop, like, being in that lowly, oh, it's hard out here, man. I can't get a girl type spirit, and have a bit of dignity, man. A bit of manhood about yourself. And I guarantee you, you'll probably have some better results then. But ultimately, man, I'll read this again, Isaiah 4 and 1. And in that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man, a complete number of women for every brother in his spirit, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. Some of these women are going to have a little substance to them. And they're going to come to brothers and, I'm just going to wear, I've got my clothes, I've got my possessions, I've got a little bit of food. But please, just be my protector. Just watch over me. Be my guide. And that's what a lot of these women are going to be on. Some of them are going to get left by the wayside. Some of them are going to get accepted in. But that's just all in the spirit. But ultimately, these women are going to subdue. They're going to be subdued, man. They're going to be subjugated back onto the men of the Lord in righteousness. Because you see, in this society, Esau gives them options. Right now, you've got that whole debate over legalizing the killing of children in the womb in America. Women have that option. They have the option of just deciding not to look after a life that they produce. They have the option of just literally being legalized murderers, man, killing children just for the sake of it because they just don't want to enter motherhood, even though they engaged in the act of sex. A lot of these women out here have the option of just turfing a man and previously they were able to live on government subsidies and be able to survive. Well, now Esau's turning the heat up and that inflation is turning. A lot of these women don't have the scruples to become a head of any sort of organization or business because women are not built for that. They're built to just look after the house and look after the children, man. Some of them, and like some of them might have a bit more sense than others, but ultimately speaking, all women are built to serve, man. It's in their name. The woman, man. Hey, they're supposed to be female servants, man. But guess what? A lot of these women don't want to do that. Well, guess what? In the day of the Lord, they're going to realize exactly what the position they were made to be in. Your woman is your servant, man. The apostle said it, man. Don said it. Apostle Tahar said the statement, and I agree with him. A woman is like a man. Like when you're young, you play with your action figures and your racing cars and your video games and shit. When you get older as a grown man, your woman is your plaything. You might flip her that way and do what you gotta do, and like get her to dress up nice for you and do all the rest of it, because your woman becomes your little action figure, man. A woman is nothing but a man's plaything, something for leisure. You know what I mean? She's your servant, man. So don't get simple out here, man, with these women. Don't start simping for these women, and especially don't fall out the truth for no damn woman, man. Because we'll get women on the other side. But this is Isaiah 32 and 9. Rise up, you women that are at ease. Hear my voice, ye careless daughters. Give ear unto my speech. Many days and years shall ye be troubled, ye careless women. For the vintage shall fail, the gathering shall not come. Hey, the beauty ain't gonna help you, man. And that day, you're not gonna be able to even afford to get to the shop to purchase your goods. You know, like I just feel that I was on a work drive. I filled up the tank for the work van, and of course, it was work expenses, so it didn't go to me. But to fill up 70 liters, which is about a 2.2 liter engine on the work van, it cost about £128, which something that used to cost about 75 pounds to fill up now cost about £130. Like, everything's going up, man. And it's all by design, because the elites of the society are purposely destroying this current fiat-based system so they can replace it with an entirely digitalized currency, man, which is then going to lead to the Revelations 13 to 16. Everything's coming into play just as the Lord said it would, man. Tremble, ye women that are at ease. Be troubled, ye careless ones. Strip you and make you bare, and gird sackcloth upon your loins. They shall lament for the teats, the pleasant fields for the fruitful vine. Hey, the Lord's saying, hey, be fearful, you stupid, whorish, Hot-headed women, man, you careless ones, strip you and make you bare and gird sackcloth upon your loins. Pretty much put on the garment of lamentation and take off those hot pants and those maxi dresses and the whorish attire that you wear, and put on lamentation, clothes of lamentation and mourning. As the scripture in verse 12 says, they shall lament for the teats, for the pleasant fields, for the fruitful vine. You're going to be lamenting for the days you could go to the club and drink the finest liquor and get some sip to buy you £100 table and do all the rest of it. Upon the land of my people shall come up thorns and briars, yea, upon all the houses of joys in the joyous city. Hey, the Lord is going to to bring you people down, especially you women, man. You know, living your hot girl summers and doing all the rest of it. This woman is living on £5 a day. Look at her, £5 a day. 140 on average. Sometimes it's £90, sometimes it's 260 on a good month. The money this month I have just £143 to live on. River told the Mirror. The Department of Work and Pensions claim I owe £3,000 altogether, but I have no idea where they obtained this figure from. I've queried it so many times, but have been told they cannot discuss it over the phone. You see, the woman will take some shit like that and just, oh well, you know, whereas a man will investigate it, apply pressure, look into the facts. The facts. Women are emotional creatures. They are not built to lead homes, man, and that's why this woman is suffering the way that she is. £5 a day. Can you imagine? So the deductions just show up on my online journal statement. I called them to say I cannot afford it, but they decide to take it anyway. River, who is a charity volunteer, said she borrows money from friends and family who are already struggling themselves in order to get by. Deductions don't help me find a job and really impacts on my mental health, she said. I walk everywhere because I can't afford travel costs. I'm exhausted. I'm lucky if I eat 2 to 3 meals a week. I'm lucky if I eat 2 or 3 meals a week. Oh, and we're not even in time of famine yet. This is nothing. You think this is bad right now? In the UK, we're due to have another energy price increase in October, man. Listen, you think it's bad right now. You just wait until winter as well. When winter kicks in and the price of energy shoots up through the roof again, shit is about to get real, man. You, you people thought that we were on the prophet on the streets prophesying for no reason. These women, we used to walk past us when we was on Oxford Street, walk into the clubs down Piccadilly Circus and down, you know, Regent Street and all the rest of it, mocking us, thinking that the day would never come. What do you mean America's gonna be destroyed? What do you mean hyperinflation? What do you mean R.F.I.D? You know, no, never that. 2022, Lord and behold, you got women living on £5 a day, man. And we're right to laugh at you, man, because the Lord is judging you for your wickedness, man. Today she walked 2 hours to get to a library to pick up sanitary towels because she cannot afford to buy them. That's some shit you hear about in like an Oxfam advert for like Somalia or some shit. She walked 2 hours to get to a library to pick up sanitary towels because she cannot afford to buy them. I've lost so much weight I fit into children's clothes. Oh shit. I've lost so much weight I fit into children's clothes. I use food bags, but you can only use the food bag 3 times a year. I can use it one more time this year. River is due to start a new job in the coming months, but even then she says she's trapped in a catch-22. I know I have a job coming, but I am scared. I am hugely worried where the cost of living crisis is going. As living costs skyrocket, the Department of Work and Pensions continues to deduct money from 2 million people, according to figures in a report back today by Lloyds Bank Foundation. The charity is calling for an immediate review of automatic deductions in order to help those most in need with the cost of living crisis. Hell, almost half, 44% of those receiving universal credit have money automatically deducted, with an average of £78 per month taken out, according to the report. Because this devil's not trying to help you, man. This devil's not trying to help you. Like what you gotta understand is like, hey, the script. This is not a righteous society, man. This is just a second. Let's just a second. I want to grab There's a scripture, I believe it's Deuteronomy, the 15th chapter, speaking on debts. Just a second. Just one second. This is the book of Deuteronomy 15 and 2. And this is the manner, and no, Deuteronomy 15 and 1. And at the end of every 7 years, thou shalt make a release. And this is the manner of the release. Every creditor that lendeth, so someone with money that lends it out, that lendeth aught unto his neighbor shall release it. So after 7 years, basically, you're supposed to forgive all debts. He shall not exact it of his neighbor or of his brother, because it is called the Lord's release. So there was an actual pretty much debt forgiveness cycle in Israel every 7 years, where you would forgive your neighbor of their debts, man. Of a foreigner thou may exact it again, but that which is thine, which with thy brother's hand shall release. So if it was a heathen, you could still continue to request your money back. But if it was a fellow Israelite, um you would release that money, man, for giving with the money. Say, when there shall be no poor among you, for the Lord shall greatly bless thee in the land which the Lord thy God Yahweh giveth thee for an inheritance to possess it, only if thou carefully hearken unto the voice of Yahweh thy God, to observe to do all the commandments which I command thee this day. So essentially, in a nutshell, the Lord will bless you for your kindness. But you think Esau Edom is doing that, man? He'll continue to deduct money out that woman's account until she's dead in the grave, and then you and then you have an Edomite apologizing, talking about, yeah, we're gonna have an inquiry into the Department of Work and Pensions to see how this could have happened. But these devils don't care about you, man. They don't care, man. They don't care at all, man. And you gotta understand that these women are selfish by nature, and so when the time comes for that selfish nature to kick in, oh boy, it's gonna kick in, man. You read this account here that King Solomon proceeded over in 1 Kings 3:16, and then it tells you, then came there two women that were harlots, they were hoes unto the king, and stood before him. And the one woman said, "Oh my lord, I and this woman dwell in one house," so they lived together. "And I was delivered of a child with her in the house." So I gave birth to a child with her in the house. And it came to pass the third day after that I was delivered, that this woman was delivered also, and we were together. There was no stranger in the house, save we two in the house, and their children, of course. And this woman's child died in the night because she overlaid it. Yeah. "And she arose at midnight and took my son from beside me, while thy handmaid slept, and laid it in her bosom, and laid her dead child in my bosom." So she did a switcheroo. "And when I rose in the morning to give my child suck, behold, it was dead. But when I had considered it in the morning, behold, it was not my son which I did bear. And the other woman said, Nay, but the living is my son, and the dead is thy son. And this said, No, but the dead is thy son, and the living is my son. Thus they spake before the king." So, they were just doing that bickering black woman kind of thing. And, they might have been other tribes, but you get the point. They were just bickering like women. Then the King Solomon, then said the king, "The one that saith, This is my son that liveth, and thy son is dead. And the other saith, Nay, but thy son is dead, and my son is the living." And the king said, "Bring me a sword." And they brought a sword before the king. And the king said, "Divide the living child in two, and give one half to the one and half to the other." There spake the woman whose child was who's the living. Then spake the woman whose the living child was unto the king, for her bowels yearned upon her son. And she said, "O my lord, give her the living child, and in no wise slay it." But the other said, "Let it be neither mine nor thine, but divide it." Then the king answered and said, "Give her the living child, and in no wise slay it. She is the mother thereof." And all Israel heard of the judgment which the king had judged, and they feared, for they saw that the wisdom of Yahweh was in him to do judgment. And that spirit was in the spirit Yahweh Shai anyway, the only begotten. But I read that because it's an account of a woman's selfishness. Of course, like a woman is gonna always love her child. Well, the scripture says that the ostrich, the sea monsters give suck, but the woman of our nation is cruel. But for the most part, a woman is gonna have, well, apart from some of these Israelite women and the curses, but most women will have compassion and empathy for their child. And what you gotta understand is like, ultimately speaking, the only real person that a woman could ever really have true empathy for is something that is her seed. She'll kick the man out of the house and have him sleeping in a car and homeless and destitute and divorce him and take half the money. And, her and the child will be living a lifestyle, but the husband will never meet the child in this modern day society. And she'll have it to where she'll destroy the child anyway in her ignorance and stupidity, but by not letting the father around. But ultimately speaking, the only thing that these women will be semi-loyal to is their own seed. Other than that, the seed that came out of them. Other than that, man, they don't give a fuck. And you gotta understand, these women are gonna come with their selfish motives, and that's why the Lord's gonna give us the spirit of discernment, man, to know who's sincere and deserves to be saved, and who deserves to be left by the wayside. Because what you gotta understand is, ultimately, hey man, there's gonna be heartless that get saved, but a lot of these women are gonna die, man. A large proportion of the 2/3 are going to be women. Hey, you got another example right here of another occurrence here when there was a famine within the land of Israel, and you had a king that walked past the woman. Second Kings, the 27th, the Second Kings, the 26th chapter, the 6th chapter, Selachia. Second Kings, the 6th chapter, and the 26th verse. And as the king of Israel was passing by upon the wall, there cried a woman unto him, saying, Help, my lord, O king. And he said, If the Lord Yahweh do not help thee, whence shall I help thee? And that's going to be the answer of a lot of men to these women, man. When they say, please, spare me some of your food, or go in there and get me some, Hey, that book of Eli, man, just keep walking. That's the kind of spirit a lot of men are going to have, man, because a lot of women are just going to be nothing but baggage, man, unless they've got some sort of history with a man. And that's why a lot of you women out here that are disrespecting men, shitting on men, you're going to be real sorry in the time of judgment, man. I'm telling you, man, when you have no protector and your love Esau pulls back the curtain, it says, and he said, If the Lord Yahweh do not help thee, whence shall I help thee? Out of the barn floor or out of the winepress? Like he was asking he was basically pretty much asking a rhetorical question, like what the hell am I going to do to help you? Says, and the king said unto her, What aileth thee? And she answered, This woman said, Give thy son, that we may eat him today, and we will eat my son tomorrow. So we boiled my son and did eat him. And I said unto her the next day, Give thy son, that we may eat him. And she hath hid her son. And it came to pass, when the king heard the words of the woman, that he rent his clothes, ripped his clothes, and he passed up by upon the wall. And the people looked, and behold, he had sackcloth within upon his flesh. Hey man, what you gotta understand is, hey, this king basically, man, lamented deeply because of the fact that things had got so desperate within Israel that women were eating each other's children, man, and they were bickering amongst each other because one of the women had either changed her mind or beguiled the other woman. You gotta understand, man, the Lord is going to bring heavy judgment, man. Heavy, heavy, heavy judgment, man. And man, women like this, yeah, like River Rose over here. There's gonna be a lot more River Roses, man, living on £5 a day and shit. Man, hell, man, hell. Literally going to a food bank, eating 3 times going to the food bank 3 times a month. I remember I said it to brothers, man. Like in my local area in London, you had it to where a lot of so-called normal, so-called, and I'd use that term loosely, but you know what I mean, like working class Jake women were in food bank lines, and I'm not talking about women with families. I'm talking about teenagers and women in their early and mid 20s, man, up in bank lines, waiting to get like a burger or some chips and some sort of fish. And I'm talking about women that should be under their parents' roof, working a job, getting some money, not paying rent, just about getting by. And even they were in food bank lines, man, waiting for food. So trust me, brothers, the Lord is protecting us and he's shielding us, and a lot of these women are getting judged. Don't worry about nothing, man. The Lord's going to give us the righteous women that he's reserved unto brothers, but a lot of these wicked women got to get judged, man. And River Rose is getting her judgment, man. A lot of these women exist out here, man, suffering hell, going through it, man. She slept in her car, took a down payment, some child tax credit. It doesn't say in here where her baby is. All kinds of hell, man. All kinds of hell, and the Lord's gonna continue to bring that judgment upon these women, man. Hey, man, may the Lord bless the Akiam and the few true sisters. that are, supporting their men. And even if you don't have a man, like, are just staying spiritual, the Lord will bless you with a man, a righteous man, as long as you continue to pursue the truth, man. And the truth, the Lord will bless you, man. May Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shai Bashim, Rakadash Baraka Thumb, bless you all. And until the next time, when I say Shalom, things are going to get real tight out here. Things are going to get difficult, man. But for the sincere elect, man, Yahweh Shai said he's with us until the end of the earth. And yes, there's women in the elect also. Yahweh Shai said he's with us until the end of the earth, man. And, think we'll be all good, man. The Lord's going to watch over us. Remember that, he fed prophets with ravens, man. He sent prophets food through ravens, like flesh and bread. He sent the prophet Habakkuk onto Daniel, man, through an angel, man, teleported him into the lions den to give Daniel some food. The Lord multiplied the fish and the loaves. He'll make a way for his men, man. Remember what he did in the wilderness, man, making it rain food. The Lord has his way, but famine is coming for the wicked, man. And evil, only an evil has come. Shalom.